Diego is this beautiful, thriving city that is more than just a beach town. While it is coast to Anza Borrego, it's also bordered by Camp Pendleton to the north and San Isidro down to the south. We're that binational mega region that really has oceans and coastal deserts and desert chaparral, and it's a really diverse landscape that is home to 6 distinct climate zones, and it's incredible. Anza Borrego Desert State Park is this beautiful desert landscape. It's the largest contiguous state park in the state of California. It's interesting because it's formed around this town called Borrego Springs. It's essentially a desert state park that's a donut around a county town. But it's really vibrant, it's really interesting because you have these slot canyons that have such a great backdrop. If you want to get down into these really narrow canyons and have this beautiful red rock just surrounding you, and sometimes you have to take off a lot of your equipment when you go down there because it's so difficult and it's so narrow, but it's really interesting. You've got these canyons that you can look up from above from Font's Point or Devil's Point. There's a lot of different desert landscapes there that aren't just your typical sand dunes. It's a lot of different elevation changes, and I think that sets a really good tone for different kinds of productions that are looking for diversity. I think, just in general, with a lot of film productions, when there's a military element to it, there's this whole process of getting Department of Defense approval whenever you're using any kind of naval or Air Force assets or anything like that. The USS Midway is completely owned by this nonprofit organization that runs the USS Midway Museum. And so they have the purview to agree to work with filmmakers. That's a lot easier than having to go through the Department of Defense.
We are aboard the USS Midway Museum, one of the most accomplished aircraft carriers of the 20th century. Remarkably, this ship is 3 football fields long, weighed 65,000 tons, and was a floating city at sea of 4,500 young men. The aircraft carrier is an amazing engineering feat, with all kinds of places below deck. There are hallways and kitchens and 2,000 rooms with beds and workshops. At the same time, there's the hangar deck, which is a large expanse, just like at an airport, where there are aircraft that used to be maintained, and of course there is a 4-acre flight deck on top. We call it the roof.
So San Diego's beaches are really diverse because you have Pacific Beach, which is home to Crystal Pier, one of the longest wooden piers in the state of California. It's got this beautiful boardwalk that leads all the way down south to Mission Beach, which is home to Balboa Park. I mean, who doesn't want to go to a theme park that's right on the edge of the ocean? And Sunset Cliffs, which to me is really unique in the sense that it has these gorgeous cliffs right along this curving road on Sunset Cliffs Boulevard. So it shows a lot of texture. If you want that quintessential Southern California look for, let's say, a driving shot with a road that's just curving along the coastline and it's lined by palm trees, that's it. I mean, that's gold. Balboa Park is the jewel of San Diego. I absolutely love it. From its 17 museums and cultural institutions to the architecture and the open park spaces, the deserts and the trails, there's so much to do. There's so much to explore, and there's something for everybody there. When I want to go and get some cultural enrichment, that's what Balboa Park is to me. It's everything that just puts my soul at ease. The southernmost part of the city of San Diego is San Isidro, and that is the U.S.-Mexico port of entry that leads down to Tijuana. And it's really convenient because we have so many productions that come to us because they either want to cross the border to film down south or vice versa. There are productions from Tijuana that want to come and work in San Diego. And so working with U.S. Customs and Border Patrol and Baja Film Studio down south, there's this beautiful synergy between productions that want to take advantage of that location and the convenience of being able to move back and forth. San Diego's downtown is really, really interesting. And I think what's unique too, just as a whole, not just downtown, is San Diego's home to 18 really distinct character districts. And it's these areas with these neighborhoods that have such a distinct, unique character to them that they're vastly different from something that's right across the street that might be in a different district. The Gaslamp Quarter is great because it's got these incredible Victorian era buildings that are all historic. The East Village is vastly different, and it's right across the street from that. You've got contemporary architecture and these glass sky rises that are amazing. So I think downtown is something of an untapped gem as well when it comes to filming. Having pristine backdrops and having this incredible weather isn't all it takes to attract a filmmaker to San Diego. I think the other thing too is you've got the state of California's Film and TV Tax Credit 2.0 that affords up to 25% in tax credits to film in San Diego or anywhere outside of the zone, really. So there's that incentive, but San Diego also doesn't charge fees for film permit processing. We don't charge fees for locations. So that makes it that much easier for filmmakers to want to come out here, and that's part of why we're trying to promote how film-friendly San Diego really is.